All right, welcome back, everybody. We had another fun day today. Almost went full circle from where we started to where we ended. That last 30 minutes to an hour had a little bit of a short squeeze that propped us close to where we opened up. But as you can see, we have a lot of demand zones before we started the day. I wasn't too worried about these on the bottom half as I didn't really anticipate us getting there. But as you can see, we did. Starting off, we had a 2-hour demand zone that opened up, or that was created overnight here at 39.30. We have a 30-minute demand zone from yesterday that was created midday here at 39.02. We bounced here a couple times, I think maybe once here, and then basically at the close yesterday. Below that, since we did get there, I'll go ahead and show a little bit more. All right, we got an hour from a couple nights ago that was created inside this 2-hour demand zone here at 38.62. This 2-hour demand zone was created a little bit over a year ago. We bounced in it a couple times, I think, actually. Let's see. Yep, bounced in it last week, bounced in it a couple days ago. Was looking to see if it would bounce today. Did not, but below that, we have another 2-hour demand zone at 38.17, also from a couple years ago, or a little bit over a year ago. And then on the supply side, we have a bunch of small ones from a couple days ago. We had that nice 150-point sell-off, created, I think, a 30-minute supply zone here at 35 or 39.59. We got a 90-minute zone right above that at 39.74. And then this red line is a daily, right at basically 4,000. Those were the couple that I was looking at. And then you have a bunch above that, but wasn't too worried about it. All right, let's see. Overnight highs, overnight lows. It looks so far away from what we saw today price wise, but we had one almost at 39.50 overnight highs, overnight lows here at 39.15. If you haven't caught my earlier or previous videos, I start my overnight lows at whatever is after midnight Eastern time. I'm off of Central time, so midnight Eastern time for me is when it's at 23 below. As you can see there on the bottom, that's 23. So anything after this is overnight lows. Anything before that, I consider the previous day. So overnight lows here at 39.14, 39.15. And let's kick it off. And then we have this orange line right here. That's just a key level. We bounced 39.55 or 38.55 last week, 38.56 a couple of days ago, so almost to the tick, bounced there again, so that's a key level there. All right. So we're opening up a little bit under 39.40, 39.35 here, and right away we bounce into this 2-hour zone. I believe this is the first time we touched it. Nope, we actually touched it once about an hour before they open. I don't think it was created here yet. So we touched it here once, try to bounce off of it. Now the day has started, open up, we open up right back into it. And, as always, I don't usually play the first 30 minutes to an hour. But if I were going to play, I would kind of say this is already too deep into the zone. It's over halfway, especially there at the open. I would have laid off of it. So got a little bit of bounce here. Couldn't break this little previous high, and then from here just consolidating in the demand zone. Another bad sign. You want to see it bounce off it pretty quick and then come back down, make a higher low and bounce off it the second time. And we got a perfect example of that later in the day, which is where I had my first entry, or my only play of the day. But so we're falling into this demand zone a little bit too far. We break it, so that's gone. We have a clean break of overnight lows, and then we have a nice little consolidation right under overnight lows, which is what you like to see. Basically, market participants are just accepting these lower prices after we collapse here, after we fell down below overnight lows, and we're just now using it as resistance. Came up here, resistance, actually bounced off of this 30-minute demand zone, came up here, resistance, and consolidated here for, let's see, a little over 30 minutes. So, I mean, this wouldn't have been a bad play. I would imagine that some people might have gotten stopped out here or tricked out. This is technically a higher low off a demand zone. I didn't play it because this drop was pretty steep and it was still pretty early in the day, and we were clearly using overnight lows as resistance. So, if we're using that as resistance, then we are pretty weak, in my opinion. So I would like to see a bounce off of it and break over overnight lows, let's say about 39.20, come back and then make a higher low. But we were clearly using this as resistance, so it's going to have a hard time breaking. So that's why I didn't take the play off of here. And good thing I did not, because after the last 5 minutes consolidation, buying just kind of disappeared. We got low 5-minute buying here, and we fell right through it. So another demand zone gone. And at this point, sellers are obviously in control, right? So I am just waiting. I'm either going to be shorting off of new supply that's created if we come back and test it, or I'm waiting for a new demand zone to form on at least a 15-minute time frame before I even think about going long. All right. So this demand zone's gone, falling through it, clearly below 39,000, 3,900 now, and we are just I don't know. It's just a slow tumble down. Call it stop loss raid, whatever it is. But I mean, we're just trickling down, coming down about 30 points below 3,900 now, and we're getting into these two demand zones. These are basically stacked into each other. Right off the bat, it looks like this 1 hour demand zone isn't really gaining much action for buyers. They're really just kind of glued to this 2 hour demand zone that we've already bounced to a couple times. We basically just fell right through that. So at that point, this 1 hour demand zone is kind of voided. Won't delete it yet because technically we haven't broken it. But about 10-15 minutes after we get into this 2 hour demand zone, buying volume starts to come in. And I was tempted to kind of actually take a long position off of this. We did come back, made a clear higher low, another higher low. The reason why I didn't take it was, like I said over here, I mean, at this point, we're breaking clean below 3,900 and breaking below these two demand zones that I've already deleted. Sellers are clearly in control, and so I'm waiting for at least a 15-minute or a demand zone on at least a 15-minute time frame, and we didn't get that. I think we were right here. This is the 15-minute chart. You got actually, on the 15-minute chart, the buying was actually pretty weak. I thought it was more buying than this, but no, it's pretty clear there. And that's why I have those rules. That's why I wait for that. Once I determine who's actually in control, it's much easier to just say, hey, I'm not even going to go long until we create that 15-minute demand zone, or at least a 15-minute demand zone. So I'm not even worried about it. I'm not like probably a lot of people here where they're just like, it's too low. They're trying to buy a dip. They're trying to find the bottom. I'm not here to try to find the bottom. Once we make that new demand zone, that is when, okay, now I'm ready to possibly go long. So I'm sure a lot of people tried to go long here and probably got stuck or stopped out because after about 30 minutes, close to an hour, we just fell right through it. Buying disappeared, just like we saw on these two demand zones. They just kind of got tired and we fell right through. So now we got this 1 hour demand zone gone. We have this 2 hour demand zone that we bounced a couple times on gone. And it's the exact same thing. Just consolidation, drop, consolidation, drop, consolidation, drop. Also below this key level. And just like what we saw earlier, where we break through a overnight lows, a key support level, and use it as resistance, we just consolidate under it. That's what we did here. Break below this key level. Just consolidate here for close to 30 minutes before the next leg down. I mean, just rinse and repeat today. I didn't take a position off of it, but, of course, looking at it hindsight, it looks so clear. But, yep, just the same thing. Consolidation, drop, consolidation, drop. At this point, we're looking for the next demand zone, which is down here at 38.17. And we're still falling. And right at about 12:30 Central Time, we get a nice green candle here. But, it's not the first time we've had this high volume green candle, right? I mean, look right here. You got some nice bids here. Look at that high volume. But we just couldn't create new demand and then just kept on falling. Here, this is where we could have possibly created demand, and we did. But, of course, after seeing this candle, we didn't know that was going to happen at this time. Let's see where it created. This was at 12:30. 15-minute demand created at 12:45, right? So I'm just going to draw a line for it. Green. There's our 15-minute demand zone. At 12:45, we now have a 15-minute demand zone. And bonus, it's also inside an old demand zone, indicating new buyers are in the market. They're coming in, and so we may not just continue to sell off. I mean, sometimes we do create new demand zones like this, and we just, test it and then just fall right through it. But at least that gives us a clear indication of to possibly, go long. If we get a higher low here, we have a clear risk. If we take a higher low off of this position, and if we break low of day, that's your clear risk. You stop out. So we have this 15-minute demand zone. We're coming up. Let me actually go back a little bit. So a couple hours before, about an hour and a half, we created a 15-minute supply zone right here. And that was really the only supply zone that we created on the way down. I think we might have created one right before the open off of that drop, but nothing too significant. It's so far away, I wasn't too concerned about it. But we did create this 15-minute supply zone here. I think we created a 10-minute here, but I don't really put too much effort into a 10-minute zone. I focused on really just anything 15 or above, and this is our only 15-minute that we got. All right. So we make this 15-minute demand zone. We're coming up. Made a lower high off of this, coming back down, and this is where I'm looking to go long. We're getting near to this 15-minute demand zone that was just created. Also into this 2-hour demand zone that we've already bounced off of once. We make a high low off of it, and this is where I take my position. I took my position right here, a little bit above 38.20. I think it was 38.23 right here. After we bounced clearly into this new zone, almost touched the demand zone, and I'm just at this point, I don't know if we're going to bounce or not. Nobody can read. I mean, nobody knows exactly what's going to happen in the market, right? But I'm anticipating a higher low is going to be made here off of this demand zone, with a clear risk level of 38.07 here. And that's all you can do. Most of the time this will work out. But I'm putting risk on the table. I'm just going to guess that this is going to be a higher low because I know most of the time, 7 times out of 10, whatever it may be, that it does work out. And I had to wait a little bit. I was consolidating for about 15 minutes or so before volume came back in, and just wouldn't say rip, but we started grinding up and grinded up to about 38.50. Almost used this key level as resistance again. I took my profits after 10-15 points. I was just there was still a lot more selling than I anticipated. You can see, look at this 1-minute chart right here. This is heavy red candle. A lot of sell vol, and dumped it below my entry level and lower than this higher low right here, but we're still above 38.07, right? So I wasn't too concerned. Once I have this clear risk level, all this doesn't even bother me. I have my plan. I'm just going to stick to it. But we did make new lows, got back into this 2-hour demand zone, and then we started gradually coming up. Selling kind of disappeared a little bit, gradually coming up. But like I said, I took my profits after 10 to 15 points here around a little bit above 38.30, just because this selling was a little bit more than I expected. But if I would have held, obviously it would have worked out. Come up 38.50, come back down, make another high low, and then rip up from there. We ripped close to 100 points within the last hour, last 45 minutes. It's not something you can really anticipate. You don't know that's coming. All you know is we do look kind of strong though, because we created new demand. We're making higher lows off of it. Higher low, higher low, higher low, and then we come up. But you can't really expect that kind of move though. All right, so we break above this key level. We're getting into this new 15-minute supply zone that was created around 11 o'clock today, and no short here, right? Because why would you short? This is why we don't short right away. We look for a lower high in at least a 5-minute time frame. We didn't get that. We didn't even get a single red candle here. Just no selling. We ripped right through it. So that's gone. And we just kind of continue to go up for the rest of the day. Close right above 3,900, and that's where we are heading to the weekend. So, we got one good play out of today. Happy with that, but almost a full circle here. Dropped 140 points, came back up. New demand, so new buyers in the market, make a higher low off of it, and then rip up from there. Didn't get that full 100-point move, like obviously looking back, I would have loved to have, but happy with my 10 points. Hope you guys had a good day. Have a good weekend. We'll see what Sunday night brings us when the market opens at 5 o'clock Central Time. All right, see you.